Hey, what's going on? My name is Darrell, and we are here with some Marvel Snap. Now, this is a deck that I've been using to start my push for this new season. We got the new Modok card, and I'm having a lot of fun with this deck. Now, I've used a few different variations, so I will share some replacements that could work with this deck as well. But the first one is Sunspot, which was actually a recent addition for me into this deck. Previously, I was using Agent 13 just because of her ability to add another card into your deck. I thought it worked really well with Modok. Then we have Iceman, which kind of is one of the cards that a lot of people are using because of his ability. It pairs pretty well with Scorpions. We also included Morbius. This card makes a ton of sense to use in discard decks, and pairing them up with Modok makes so much sense. We also have Wolverine, who recently got a buff and I think works very well in this deck archetype as well. And we added Cosmo, mainly to counter what's going on in the meta right now. Lady Sif, because she pairs very well with Apocalypse. So Apocalypse is in this deck as well. And then we got Dracula, which I think is like one of the craziest cards right now in Marvel Snap. It's very hard to counter this card, and he just works miracles at the end game. We got White Queen in there. And again, this is the same reason why I had Agent 13 before, just to be able to add another card to the deck. And if you don't want to use White Queen, Enchantress is just as great. Her ability paired up with Cosmo allows you to counter so many different deck archetypes. Then we got Modok, which is the new card for the season. This card is incredible. It's not too overpowered, but I feel like it works really good with discard decks, mainly because obviously look at the ability, right? You're able to discard your entire hand, which is able to boost up Morbius with no problem. I feel like he's a great card to have in every discard deck. And again, it works very well with Lady Sif. And a lot of times when you're playing Modok on turn 5, you probably still have Wolverine in your hand and Apocalypse. Now, if you don't want to use Scorpion in your hand, you could add Swarm as well. Paired up with Modok, incredible card. And then on the last turn, I like to have America Chavez. I just feel like this is a great insurance policy. If you don't have a turn 6 card, this is a guaranteed draw. And what I really like the most is if I'm able to play Dracula on turn 4, I know that turn 6, I can get at least 9 power from America Chavez. This makes it really good to just surprise the opponent and steal a lane right at the end of the game. Now, if you've watched my other content, right, we also cover NBA 2K Mobile. When I do live matches, I keep the losses in there as well. That way you can see exactly what my thought process is, and you can also see the mistakes I made and learn from that as well. So that's how we're going to do it. Let's jump into it. All right, so we're starting off with our hand here. This worked out good. We start with Sunspot. And you're going to find a lot of times you're going to be hoarding cards to use for Modok. So Sunspot will be a nice card to just stack up energy on. All right, so turn 2, the only move we really can play is Wolverine, but I'd rather save Wolverine in my deck for that Modok discard. That way Wolverine can come back with more power. So this is a great example where Sunspot will be able to get more energy. So we'll end the turn. It looks like they're playing a Destroy deck. You can play here after turn 4. So I do have Lady Sif. I like to keep her around mainly for Apocalypse. That's kind of the way I use her. So on this turn here, it would make a lot of sense to play Morbius. So since Sunspot's going to do a good job of building energy on his own, I'll play Morbius in another lane. This is going to be a high power card after we're done with all the discarding. So now we're on turn 4. I think if I pair up Dracula with Sunspot, that will guarantee me a lane. And then hopefully on the last turn, if I do get Apocalypse, I can throw him on the same lane with Morbius, and that locks me down for a good chance to win 2 lanes. That Carnage card is so cool just to watch. Great play of the Wolverine to come back. All right, so now in turn 5, let's see if we get Modok in there. And we did. So now we have all these cards here that we can discard for Morbius, and Wolverine's going to come back with more power. This just worked out perfectly. And because Modok, believe it or not, I think has a decent power too. You can play him on the same lane as your Dracula and Sunspot as well. So we'll do that. Looks like Morbius is going to stay on the lane on his own. but he should be able to get a good amount of power to maybe even tie that up. So I think we're looking good. Wolverine went on the left lane, so it gives us a chance to win that lane as well. We didn't get Apocalypse in this run, so I'm gonna have Dracula take America Chavez. That should put me at 21. And because of the 6 energy I'm not gonna use, that's gonna go towards Sunspot. So that should help me win that lane. And hopefully I can keep the Hell's Kitchen. And if not, you know, we'll tie on the 3rd lane. So let's see how this works out. I'm gonna end the turn. Now they do have a Devil Dinosaur. That's something I discounted. And those Dr. Dooms is gonna make it a little bit tougher, but let's see how it plays out. All right, so I lost that one. But if they didn't play those Dr. Dooms, we should have been okay. But this is such a good card. Like, it adds a 5-power Doombot to each other location. Such a crazy card. And the other day, I went up against a combo. They were playing no abilities. So they had Mystique, Cyclops, and there was another card. I can't remember which one it was. But then they ended up playing Ultra on the last turn, and it just turned into mayhem, right? So I'm gonna leave this gameplay in because you got to see the good and the bad, right? So let's go on to the next match. All right, so we got Superflow here. Sounds like I'm about to start a song, right? So as long as I don't play anything there, I'll get +1 energy. So we're gonna make that work to our advantage. Fortunately, we don't have any cards for that turn, so it's kind of a waste of the Superflow. Let's see what happens on turn 2. The turn 4, whoever's winning here draws 2 cards. That's going to be great because we got Modok in our hand already. So we can play Lady Sif here. That's going to work right on the Apocalypse. And they did the same thing as well. All right, there we go. So I like the way things are turning around now. Cards here have -2 power. I don't like that. I'm trying to figure out what I should play. I like playing Morbius in the middle, but I also want to play Dracula. I feel like that's a better play right now. But we can also play on turn 4, so we'll play Morbius here. I feel like that's going to be a waste of energy, so let's play Dracula. We'll do that. Then we'll stop the Superflow on the next turn. I'll throw Morbius there and maybe another card. I'm gonna play Sunspot here. We'll get a +4 energy. Next turn, we'll be able to play Modok. All right, let's play Morbius here. We're gonna stop that push. And we'll give Sunspot some energy as well. There we go. All right, so we won that lane. We got the extra 2 cards as I was hoping. So Modok is going to work his magic now. We'll be able to throw him on Superflow since that lane is already destroyed. And then hopefully we can throw Apocalypse and Asgard. So here we go. This should work out the way I was hoping. There we go, +16. Woo! That thing is powerful. And we got Wolverine in there as well. We're looking really good. So now this turn here, since we're going to play Apocalypse in the middle lane, Dracula should get the power from America Chavez. I like this a lot. So in actuality, middle lane could go up to 16. I feel like Superflow is the lane that they're really playing. They have 10 over there. I don't know if they're going to go for more cards to get the +14. So I can make this work in any way. I like my odds at 16-0 versus the 14. So we're going to go with Apocalypse here. We're going to snap. And we're going to end this turn. Let's see how it plays out. Hopefully it doesn't backfire. But I think we're going to end up being pretty okay. All right, so let's see what they played. They played Hela. She brought a Magneto in there. And they just brought Odin into the other lane. Actually, Infinite. But we're going to win because the mathematics worked out in this one. I mean, again, this is the part of the game that enjoys the risk taking. So that worked out really well for us. Hell, man, this card is pretty good. I've been seeing a lot of people talk about it. So you resurrect all cards you discarded from your hands to random locations. So that's what ended up happening. So they played Magneto in the middle lane, and it looks like Infinite came back, which is pretty crazy if you think about it, because that card alone can win a lane, which just happened. All right, cards played here have a 25% chance to be destroyed. We're going to skip turn 1. And what we got in the middle lane? Shuffle your hands into your deck, draw 3 cards. Let's make sure we get Morbius out. I liked my hand as well because we had Dracula, Apocalypse, and Modok in there. So let's see what we're going to play here. Each card costs 1 less. So you know what? Let me get Dracula out, just in case I don't get any of the cards that I want back. They just played Wave, so that should be interesting next turn. All right, we got, yeah, see? I'm glad that I played those 2 cards at least, because I would have been hurting right now. Now, I do like the fact that I can play White Queen right now, because her cost just went down, so that worked out well. It's going to give me another card, so could potentially give me one of the cards that I need. Let's play her here with Morbius. Just in case we can't discard anything, we'll have a little power in that lane. They just play Deathlock. And we got Carnage. Okay. Which we could make work. So I did get Carnage. I think Carnage is going to mess up what I have going on. So I'll play Sunspot and just take the extra +5 energy. I'm tempted to play Scorpion, though. I think that can do some damage to them. So let's play Scorpion here. And Iceman is 0 cost, so we'll play him as well. I think that worked out pretty good. And they play Squirrel Girl, the Hood, and they play Carnage. All right, I think we're looking good. Even though we have a lot of our heavy hitters in our hand, I think we're still in a good spot. Okay. So we didn't get any of the cards that we wanted. That's why I like having America Chavez in there as insurance policy. So now I know that Dracula could get that 9, but we got to make sure that we play these other cards. So since I don't have to worry about any of my arm reveal abilities, I am going to play Cosmo here, just to give me a little bit more power. And since no cards got discarded, and I'll just play Carnage in the middle lane, because I don't care about losing Morbius. But I could lose that 3 energy from Sunspot, but I think it'll work out with the +2 energy that Carnage is going to get. So let's see. See how this plays out. And I think I'm going to snap. I think I feel good about this one. All right, so that didn't work out the way I thought it would, but I think I still won the match. And we did. Now, I have to be real with y'all. I never really played Carnage, so that's also something I wanted to keep in the videos too, because if you don't have experience playing a card, you might not fully understand the mechanics of it. So Carnage got +2 power for each card destroyed. He got an 8, which is fine. My math was off though. I thought he would have had a little bit more. I misunderstood how the card worked. I thought that Carnage got whatever the powers were on the field, +2 for each card that was destroyed. So I definitely misunderstood how that card worked, but it worked out in my favor, right? I got lucky there. And then on the last lane, I felt pretty good because America Chavez gave Dracula that power boost. I'm always going to give you real commentary during the videos. That's why I like to play them live. That way you can see the mistakes. And again, I am not a pro player. I am a new player trying to get good at this game. And that's one of the mistakes that I would make that nobody will see, right? And I'm glad I could share and help other people. All right, so there you have it. That was the Modok deck that I used. Again, you can use Sunspot, or you can take them out and use Agent 13. I find that both decks work pretty well. Agent 13 has slightly a little bit more value because you're able to add another card in there for Modok to discard. But if Modok doesn't come out, it puts you in a tough spot. We've seen that in a couple of scenarios during this video, but at least Sunspot gives you a little bit of insurance just in case you don't have any cards you can play. It gives energy towards that card and helps you maybe win a lane, right? It can give you that little extra boost that you need. My first Marvel Snap video, hoping to do more. If you're still checking out the video at this point, then thanks for watching. And I hope that you do consider subscribing for more content. I will catch everyone in the next video. Peace out.